Okay, this is week 3. You're going to be going over the assignment for week 3 for Professor Nelson, and he will be back next week. So this will be the last podcast you hear from me. But anyway, I wanted to um, go over this with you. This program here begins multiple functions in the program as a prior one. Also, you're going to have in this program, it's calculating the volume, cost, and customer charge, and also profit of a crate of any size. It also calculates this data from the user input, and it consists of dimensions of the crate. The output you'll see in just a second, and I'll jump here to the actual meat of the application. All the following functions are going to be called in the main. The main must include a function prototype, function call. We're going to have a function called print heading that does not have a return value, enter length that does return a value, enter width that returns a value, enter height returns a value, and then display result function that does not return a value. All the calculations will be done in the main, and when completed it should have 6 functions. The main function is going to call for the input and output, but all the calculations will take place in the main. The print heading function, there's examples he gave you in the folder of all for print heading, print title. You can use those and modify them for this application. Enter length, enter width, enter height. All 3 of these functions will prompt the user to enter a single value, which is returned to the main. And then display results have a parameter of volume, cost, charge, and profit. And this is a function that will actually be, variables will be pushed to this function. And then the pseudocode is declaring the function prototypes, number 1. Number 2, declaring local variables, 1 per line. 3, doing a function call of print heading, 1 time, just that has your name and the name of the application. And then the function call for enter length, function call for enter width, and function call for enter height. You calculate the volume in the main function, the cost in the main function, charge in the main function, profit in the main function, and then finally call the display results. Pass all 4 arguments to this parameter. Pseudocode, declaring length variable, which is later returned, prompt and get the length from the user. Return lengths. Pseudocode of enter width, declare the width variable, which is returned later, prompt and get it. Pseudocode of enter height, declare height variable, which is entered later, prompt and get height from user. And then pseudocode for display result. Declare local variables none. Parameters are volume, cost, charge, and profit. And there are also variables used in this function. And display the output, and you'll see that in just a second. So we can go into the application here. Here's the one that Mr. Nelson has you open up. Just make sure and put in your name, email, as always. Begins with preprocessor directives. You need an IO stream, an IO manip, and a string, and then your username standard. The string is going to be used for a string class. And I'm going to go ahead and collapse these real quick to see all of them at once. I'm going to try to go over not only the application today, but also what files you need to submit to Eagle and where to find them in your application, just in case some of you need help in that. So here is the functions. We've got a main, enter length, enter width, enter height, display results, and print headings. I declared the functions, all these 3 anyway, as double enter length, double enter width, double enter height. And anytime you see a function that has a void in it, that basically means that function does not return a value. The print headings function is just purpose of that is to display information about you and the program. The display results brings in the volume, cost, charge, and profit and displays it on the screen. So void name of the function just means it does not return a value. If you put a type in front of a function, that means it does return a value, like double enter height, double enter width, and double enter length. So we're going to start with the first one, which is a display or the print heading. The print heading is just that. It's printing the heading of the program, which in this case is U03_PR38 by myself, Chuck Conkle. Second function that's used is entering length. When this one's called, it declares a local variable length, prompts the user to enter the length of the crate. Length is put into cin value and then return that length. Then enter width, entering a local variable of width with a double, prompts the user to enter a width, brings that width value in, returns width. And then entering height, declaring a local variable height, cin out, enter height, cin in height, and then returning height. Just a note on these, I didn't declare it on my application, but you could put enter crate length instead of just enter length on yours to be more descriptive, and enter crate width, and then enter crate height might be a good thing to do. I didn't do it on this example. And then finally the void display results. Let's look at that. The void display results is going to bring in volume, cost, charge, and profit from the main. We'll see in a second. And it's just displaying it in multiple lines and cout. The volume of crate is volume. The cost to build, cost. The charge to customer, charge. Profit, profit. And then finally ending it. So now let's go to collapse this and go back to the main function. Now that we went over all the functions but the main, we'll actually go to the main where everything's done at. At the beginning of the main, you declare, first of all, function prototypes. We're going to do a double for enter length function, a double for enter width function, a double for enter height function, and then we're doing the prototype for display results. In here you can put whatever, you need to put 4 doubles in here since it is a function is using 4 doubles and we're passing 4 doubles to that. But as far as the names, it can be a little shorter than usual. So in this one I have double L, double W, L for length, W for width, double H height, and then double P is for profit. Function prototype utility for print headings is also done. So we've got our prototypes declared here: enter length, enter width, enter height, display results, and finally print heading. Then we have some local variables: length, width, height, volume, cost, charge, and profit. So we have to have local variables in order to do our calculation and final call. Then our first call to a function is print headings, and it's just going to display the application name, your name, and that's it. Then we begin to add a loop. We're going to declare a string called choice. Just so you know, backing up a little bit, that's why we needed the include string, is because we do have a string variable in here. So string choice, do while the user chooses either an uppercase or lowercase y. They will be prompted to have a more crates to proceed. If they do y, it's going to loop again. If they do n, it's going to exit the program. So beginning the do loop, we take those local variables we declared and call the functions and get values from the function. So I get the double value the user's entered in the enter length, the double value the user entered in enter width, and double value the user entered in enter height, and plug it into these local variables. Then we calculate, now that we have the local variables called from the functions that the user has been prompted for, we now can calculate the needed items. The first is volume. It's length times width times height is a volume. Cost is volume times 0.23. Charge is volume times 0.5. And then profit is the charge minus the cost. Finally, we take the results of these, volume, cost, charge, and profit, and we're going to display them in the display result function. So here's the parameters we're going to pass, and they need to be in this order because that's how they're declared in the function. Volume, cost, charge, and profit. Once it's displayed, the user will be prompted more crates to process. If they hit Y, it's going to start that over again. If they do not hit Y, if they hit N, it's going to end the loop here and come down to the end of program cout, the cin get to hold the screen, and then as soon as the user hits any key, it's going to exit the application. So let's go ahead and run the application. Project program name, U03PR3-28 by Chuck Conkle. Enter length, I'm going to put in 25. Enter width, I'm going to put in 20. Enter height, I'm going to put in 15. It says the volume of the crate is 7,500 cubic feet. The cost to build is $1,725. The charge to the customer is $3,750. The profit is $2,025. More crates to process. I'll go ahead and do one more. I'm going to put Y in there. Enter length for this time, I'll do 30. Enter width, I'll do 25. And enter height, I'm going to do 20. The volume of the crate is 15,000 cubic feet. Cost to build, $3,450. Charge to customer, $7,500. Profit, $4,050. More crates to process, N. Any key to exit. Now let me show you, now that we've completed and it's successful, let's show you how to get the files needed to go to Eagle. If in your Solution Explorer, whether it's on the right of your screen or the left of your screen, doesn't matter, I'm going to show you here how to find your CPP file and your .executable file, .exe file that you need, that Mr. Nelson wants you to submit. In the Solution Explorer, you're going to click Show All Files. Once you click Show All Files, you should see a debug folder show up. Now, if you notice, when I click it again, the debug's gone, and I see header files, resource files, and source files. I want to see all files. The debug folder will have in it, one of the files is going to be the executable file. In this case, it's this one here, 03PR28_1 is the executable for my application, because that's what I created the application. Project name is 0.3_PR3-28_1. So if I right click on this file and copy it, you can do it that way, and bring it to another folder within your computer. That might be the easiest way for some of you to do it. So I'm going to go to my Unit 3 folder, Assignment, and I'm going to right click, not going in there for me. Let me show you another way to do it for you, since it's not going to work for me on that. I'm going to go to the location where it was actually built. Debug folder. Let me go back a little bit for you. Here's the folder that is actually created when the project's created. I pointed it to my desktop into a folder called Source Control, Unit 3, and then Assignment. Here's a debug folder. When I scroll down here, I should be able to find that application. And if you do a view by details, it'll help you better to see the type of file. and this one's an application file. I'm going to copy that. Paste it, just so I know where it's at. I'm going to do the same thing with the CPP file. The CPP file is going to be found in the project folder as well. And that's my project file. It's a database file. I want my source file for that. That's actually going to be found in the original folder because I did not move it. Okay. When you downloaded the files from Eagle, one of the files to begin with this program was this U03_PR3-28.cpp. There it is right there. You'll need this one as well. So wherever you originally pull it from is where it's going to be at, unless you've moved it. So I have my executable, and I also have my CPP file. Back in Eagle, let's go ahead and go there real quick. Okay, in Eagle for this unit, I'm going to show you how to submit these real quick. Now that I've captured them and showed you how to capture them from the solution debug folder. So I'm going to go to lessons, and I'm going to go to the unit expressions input and output. This unit 3 PR328 needs a CPP and executable. And I'm going to go in here and just put in here my name, just click on attachments. I'm going to browse out to the folder on my desktop called source code, unit 3, assignment. There's my CPP file. I'm going to upload that. And then next, my executable file, upload that. Hit finished. There's both files needed for the project. Click submit. It says it's successful. And then you should see your name, the day you submitted. If you wanted to make sure that you actually submitted those files, you can click on your name later. And at the bottom, it'll have the CPP and executable file, or it should. So that's how you submit the application once it's finished. Now I wanted to show you real quick, one of the things I did not show you, I wanted to make sure and highlight, was a creation of this project. Some of you are having issues on creating a project in Visual Studio. Regardless whether you set up Visual Studio 2008 or 2010, or even followed instructions or didn't follow instructions on setup, it's fairly easy to create a project, and I don't want to make it more difficult than it is. Now, at the beginning of this, it has you create a project name called this right here. I suggest just highlighting in the instructions and copying it. And then I'm going to go ahead and close out this current project I have open, or current solution I have open, to create a brand new one. So I'm going to go up to the File menu, go to New, Project. I'm going to select under Visual C++, Win32, Make sure Win32 console app is selected. In the name, I'm going to paste that name in there. I'm going to browse out to a different folder. Well, I take it back. I've already got the source here. Yeah, my desktop folder. You want to just make sure and browse out to whatever folder it is that you're saving your projects at. Make sure this is not checked on Create Directory for Solution. Click OK. Now do not click Finish here. You want to click Next. Change it from Precompiled Header. Uncheck that. Check mark Empty Project. And that's it. So when you come to this screen, you uncheck Precompiled Header, check Empty Project, leave everything else alone, click Finish. Now these folders you'll see over here, and all these should be empty. To add the CPP file that Mr. Nelson has you download, you right-click, Add in Solution Explorer, Existing. You're going to go to your desktop, source, wherever it is you downloaded. I downloaded mine to source code, and here is the one that he had you started with and actually finished with. Now that I've got this running in this project, I can go to hit the play button to hit start debugging. It'll prompt me if I want to update this and build it. I say yes. Now it's linking it and compiling it and running the application. So that completes the tutorial on U03PR3-28. Just make sure after you're finished with the solution that you submit the CPP file and the executable. And as always, you can email me if you have any questions in Eagle, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.